From the studios of Boise State Public Radio News, I'm Samantha Wright, filling in for Jim Gaudette. It's Idaho Matters. As the skies of the Snake River Canyon fill with newly hatched birds, we are reminded of the wildlife that also calls our beautiful state home. Nestled just outside of Boise, the Morley Nelson Snake River Birds of Prey National Conservation Area is a haven for falcons, eagles, hawks, and owls. And supporting the conservation of this unique area is the Birds of Prey NCA Partnership. It's a nonprofit group with a dedication to helping one of the world's most dense concentrations of nesting birds. Their annual Raptor Fest is coming up on Saturday in Kuna, and we are joined by Partnership President and Executive Director Steve Alsop and Board Treasurer Matthew Podolsky to hear more about what's happening this weekend. I want to welcome you both back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, good to be here.
All right. Okay, to get started, for folks who haven't heard of it before, what is the NCA exactly, for anyone who may not have been there?
Yeah, so NCA is short for National Conservation Area, and it's a special designation that's part of the National Conservation Land System that the BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, administers.
Gotcha. Where is it? I mean, we mentioned Snake River Canyon, but give me an idea of where it is.
Yeah, it actually covers about 80 miles of the Snake River Canyon. So south of Kuna, kind of near the Celebration Park area, all the way upstream past Hammett. So it's a huge area, 80 miles of canyon and about 475,000 acres of land. And most of that is on the north side of the Snake River Canyon within that corridor.
And I know both of you have been there. Steve, I'm going to start with you. Describe it. What does it look like if we're there? What are you going to see?
It's an amazing landscape. The canyon itself is breathtaking. There's areas that have 300-foot canyon walls of this really pretty basalt volcanic rock that forms the cliffs. So the river and the canyon are beautiful. And then there's what we call the benchlands or the uplands on the rim of the canyon that also supports a lot of wildlife, just sort of in that sage steppe high desert habitat.
Matt, what do you see when you're there?
I mean, I think, what's so amazing about this landscape is, the unique density of birds of prey. But a big part of the reason why there is this unique diversity of raptors is because there's also a uniquely high density of ground squirrels on the plateaus. And so that interaction, between predator and prey is really interesting. And it's something that we focus on quite a bit.
So you're telling me there's a lot of snacks there, and that's why they hang out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Tell me about the partnership. What is the Birds of Prey NCA partnership? What do you do?
Yeah, so we act sort of like a friends group to support the BLM in managing the National Conservation Area. So we do a lot of education and outreach for school groups and adult groups as well. We contribute to scientific research, so we partner with the BLM biologists and local universities to conduct wildlife research. And then we also do a lot of restoration work. So trying to, in the last 50 years or so, fire has become a big issue out there, and we're losing that beautiful sage steppe habitat. And as it burns, it's replaced by annual grasses, exotic grasses that actually increase the fire intensity and the fire cycle. So if we can restore the habitat to the sage steppe habitat, then we can sort of reduce the impact of fire, which is a huge problem right now.
Okay, and you have another Raptor Fest coming up this Saturday. What's so unique about your Raptor Fest event? Why is it special?
Well, that's a great question. We sort of resurrected an old version of the festival that had kind of come and gone years before, and when we started to take a look at how to bring the festival back, it had been previously held at a school or something like that, and I was like, man, if we're gonna have a festival, we should probably change the venue. So we've been at Indian Creek Winery for 8 years in a row now. So Indian Creek's been a great partner for us. Their grounds are beautiful. They have a stage there, and they have this really nice tiered garden area. So we've got live music and local food trucks and drink sponsors. And then we have our arts and crafts and nonprofit vendors and booths set up along the tiered gardens. And so we've got one area that's music, one area that's full of our partners and our vendors, the winery itself. So you can go inside and see what's happening in the winery. We've got some live talks out there. And so what we've done is taken this education and outreach opportunity and added local music and food vendors and just tried to make it as fun as possible. And it's family friendly. We have a kids activity area with specific kind of Raptor centric activities and artwork. And so we try to make it fun for the whole family and yet engaging and sort of educational at the same time. And that's a interesting line to walk.
Definitely. We're speaking with Steve Alsop and Matthew Podolsky about the Birds of Prey NCA Partnerships Raptor Fest. It's this Saturday in Kuna. Matt, tell me about these talks. Steve mentioned them. You're going to have some that are going to focus on the impacts of federal management on the Snake River Birds of Prey area. Can you give us some more details about what the talks are about?
Yeah, absolutely. We do these live talks every year at Raptor Fest. It's a really important part of the education component of the festival, as Steve said. We have two presenters who are giving talks at this year's Raptor Fest. The first talk is by Taldy Harrison, who's the Chief Program Officer for the Foundation for America's Public Lands. So this is a new foundation associated with the Bureau of Land Management. So Taldy will be giving us, she's giving this talk at an interesting moment for public lands management in the United States. Their BLM is going through some, I guess I'd say, an interesting stage in the agency's development right now. So it'll be interesting to hear from her. And then likewise, our second presenter is Emily Wackild, who is the Cecil D. Andrus Endowed Chair for the Environment and Public Lands at Boise State University. So Emily has a really interesting perspective, coming from the Andrus Center and being a part of this sort of long-running involvement that Boise State and the Boise area just in general has had with public lands management, and that connection that we have here in Idaho to Cecil Andrus, who is a former governor, but also a former Secretary of the Interior, and who played a really significant role in getting this national conservation area established. So I think these talks will be really interesting for folks, and I think both of our presenters will have an interesting perspective on what's going on within our land management agencies right now.
Gotcha, definitely. And I think it's fascinating that you're having both of these folks on. We've had Emily on the show several times. She's fantastic. I highly recommend folks go to Raptor Fest and hear what she has to say. She's always very engaging. I want to ask, too, you mentioned, Steve, walking that fine line between education and having fun, so to speak. Are there going to be raptors at Raptor Fest that folks can see?
That's for sure. We try to make sure that we've got live ambassador birds at Raptor Fest every year. So our friends and partners at the Peregrine Fund will be bringing some of their ambassador birds. The Bureau of Land Management also has ambassador birds that they'll be bringing. And this year, it's been a couple of years, but the Idaho Falconers Association is back with us this year. And so there'll be some falconry birds there as well.
That you can walk up and be very close to. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I forgot one more. So some of our best partners, Monty Tish and Slim, the Golden Eagle. Slim is at almost all of our events, and so I would be remiss to not mention that she will be there with her handler, Monty. And she is a 36-year-old Golden Eagle that has been doing education and outreach work for almost her whole life. So she's a pro, and you'll definitely be able to come up and interact with her closely.
There's just something about being able to walk up near pretty close to some of these birds of prey, like a golden eagle. They are so big. Most of the time we just see them flying around, but when you see them up close and in person, you're really impressed with the magnitude, the size, the majestic. They're just fantastic. Okay, once again, when and where is Raptor Fest, and how can folks get tickets?
Yeah, it is this Saturday, June 7th at Indian Creek Winery. The festival runs from noon to 5 p.m. And we have tickets through Eventbrite. So we're asking people to register. Tickets are free, but we're asking folks to register so that we get an idea of our attendance. And then if you register, you're also able to make a donation to our nonprofit. And if you do that, we have a raffle for a Vortex spotting scope that we'll be giving away to one of the folks that makes a donation.
Wow. Okay. So much fun. We've been speaking with Steve Alsop, partnership president, and Matthew Podolsky, partnership board member, about Raptor Fest coming up Saturday, June 7th. Thank you both so much. Good luck on Saturday.
You've been listening to Idaho Matters from Boise State Public Radio. I'm Gemma Gaudette.